name's Michael Ortega, and I've been living on the anchorage for about 5 years now.
Jeff Jacob of the 26-foot sloop Jubilee.
My name is Rafael Lopez, Jr. I come here from South Bay in 1989.
Originally, they hoped to sail around the world, but now the welcoming faces of the Sausilito anchorouts are defending a community that took 60 years to build instead. Pulling up anchor and knowing you could go anywhere like a bird with wings satisfies the mariners' desire for freedom. Recent enforcement of long-standing rules has ended their ability to fly.
When I first moved out on the Hook, I knew a few people that were from the waterfront for like decades. They'd been here, so they knew my grandmother. But the majority of the people out there were like strangers to me.
I was invited here 20 years and 4 boats ago. I had been in Richmond Marina, and then in Berkeley, and finally untied there and came to this place. And this place has been very special for very many decades.
So I thought, well, where can I go where I can start a new life? I came here in 1989. Got a boat, lived with my wife there. We got hammered by, whoever's out there doesn't want people out there, so we moved to land. I moved my boat to a harbor. The thing is about personal freedom. Freedom from tickets, freedom from bullshit, from the guys who want money from you, right? It's like, no, I ain't paying nothing. You already get enough. Go hurt somebody else.
The anchorage is kind of like the tail end of the gentrification, and it's kind of like making a final stand out there.
There's a push, and I think it's by a very small number of people, to say all the people living out here have to be removed.
My name is Curtis Havel, and I serve as the harbor master for the Richardson's Bay Regional Agency, and its primary mission is to protect the waters of Richardson's Bay and keep them safe for all of its users. So Richardson's Bay was never intended to be a residential solution. It was never intended to be a housing solution. One of the fundamental rules that got set up was that Richardson's Bay is a 72-hour anchorage. So it's intended to be a temporary stopping point.
My name is Mike McGuire. I'm honored to be able to represent Marin County in the State Senate. Over the last 3 years, RBRA has been focused on taking abandoned vessels, abandoned boats off of the bay and destroying them, and then taking them to the landfill and recycling what they can.
The harbor master said he wasn't going to take any occupied boats, that there was some kind of 5-year plan, but now he is most definitely taking occupied boats, and people are fighting back.
We're trying something important here, right? We're mariners. We're trying to find our ground after they destroyed our boats. Let me tell you, I've already established a way to bounce around every 72 hours so I don't get hit before I get a slip.
The challenge remains, how do we enforce the 72-hour limit in a way such that we're not making people homeless?
They want to live on the water. It's been part of the history in Sausilito and Southern Marin.
Removing anchored out vessels pushed some mariners off their boats and into a homeless encampment along the shoreline. The camp is located in the newly refurbished Dunphy Park, which is a public space. This new home allows the mariners to take a stand against public officials. However, it is not a safe or permanent solution.
There was a federal ruling called Martin v. Boise, and the concept of that is really, if you are sleeping on public space, you're allowed to sleep there if there's no shelter option.
Sausilito is one of the pricier communities in the country, in the world, really. There's only a few public housing buildings right across from the library for elders.
There's a high contrast between the waterfront people and the anchorouts and the people who live up on the houses.
Sausilito's homeowners and renters have voiced their complaints about the camp's location. However, there's nowhere else for the mariners to go, so they are continuing to fight for their place on the bay.
There is a demand now that the harbor master resign.
He's known to just destroy people's boats with all their stuff in it.
There are people that want to handle it in a saltier way, but we want to handle it in the right way, in the legal way, in the nonviolent way, in the peaceful way, but in the real way.
What's happening now is that we're developing a long-term plan. we're starting an assessment. So we're assessing all individuals and determining what their needs are right now in Richardson Bay. We're going to start matching up individuals who are living on boats in the bay with permanent housing. Permanent housing can be on water and on land. On water, it would be in a marina.
This timely policy solution, created to meet the goals of the city, state, and the RBRA, could keep the history of the Anchor Out community alive. The romantic notion of living on the water may set sail once again.
There are a lot of folks who live on Richardson Bay because it's their choice. Many folks are living on Richardson Bay and they've been doing so for years and years, some for decades. And we have to be sensitive to that. And we have to work with each individual to be able to meet their unique needs.
What I'd like to see is that the mariners are given their freedom to live in a different way.